NAYA Rivera, known to millions of fans of the hit American series Glee as Santana Lopez, was a rising star of Puerto Rican descent. Born into a world of the spotlight as a child, she lived amidst cameras and stage lights, from modeling to acting roles, in which she proved her talent. But behind her dazzling smile and fame, she hid a simple soul and a doting mother to her only child, Jose, whom she had with her ex-husband, actor Ryan Dorsey. After their divorce, Jose became the center of her universe, and her only happiness was in his little laugh. But in the summer of 2020, specifically on July 8, that summer would turn into a tragic memory the world would never forget. The entire year was filled with sadness and illness as the COVID-19 pandemic was ravaging people everywhere. Nevertheless, NAYA decided to break the quarantine routine and take her son on a picnic to Lake Piru in California. This lake wasn't ordinary. It had a terrifying reputation among the locals. They called it the Cursed Lake. For decades, people had mysteriously disappeared there, their bodies found days later or never recovered. Despite all this, NAYA didn't hesitate. According to her mother, she had been a skilled swimmer since childhood and was never one to underestimate the power of water or the dangers of nature. The journey she never returned from. NAYA arrived at the lake that morning. She parked her car in the designated parking lot, holding her young son's hand, and headed to the reception to rent a small boat. The clerk there, a man in his 50s with a sun-tanned face, offered her life jackets. She smiled and said, "No need. We're not swimming, just a short ride on the boat." But the man insisted, as if he knew something she didn't, until she agreed and took the jacket. She got on the boat. The weather was sunny, the wind was calm, and the water reflected the sky like a calm mirror. She moved a little further toward the center of the lake, and little Jose continued to laugh and play.
But hours passed, and when her family called to check on her, she didn't answer. As evening approached, their hearts began to grow concerned. They went to the lake and found her car locked, with the food and charcoal still inside. It was clear she hadn't returned from the outing. Finding the boat and the child. The search quickly began, and using helicopters and rescue boats, they found her boat floating on the water. But the scene was shocking. On the boat were little Jose sleeping peacefully, the life jacket, NAYA's ID card. But where was NAYA? When the rescuers asked the child about his mother, he said a short, terrifying sentence: "My mother is gone." In the days that followed, the child revealed a painful secret to his grandmother. He told her in a trembling voice, "My mom and I jumped into the water together. I held her hand, counted to 3, and we jumped. The water was very cold. She quickly lifted me into the boat, and when I turned around to see her, she wasn't there. She had disappeared under the water." The strange thing is that the child didn't reveal these details immediately after his rescue. Why did he hide it for days? Was he afraid, or was there something he saw that he couldn't describe? Unanswered questions. Everyone wondered, why did NAYA jump into the water when she was just out for a short walk and hadn't planned to swim? Why didn't she wear a life jacket or give one to her son? Why did she place her card next to her son on the boat, as if she knew she wouldn't return? And if she was a skilled swimmer, what prevented her from returning to the boat?
After 5 days of searching, rescue teams found NAYA's body at the bottom of the lake, more than 10 meters deep. Her hands were raised, as if she were trying to grab something or call for help. Her face was rigid, and her eyes were closed. Authorities quickly closed the case, declaring it an accidental drowning. But that didn't convince many. The Cursed Lake, unexplained victims. NAYA wasn't the lake's first victim. Its history is replete with mysterious drownings, 1994. A 27-year-old man drowned despite wearing a life jacket. His body was found 5 days later. 1997. A father jumped in to save his daughter. He succeeded in saving her, but he disappeared underwater, and his body was never found. 1997. A young man fell off the boat in front of his girlfriend and drowned. This happened again months later with another man named Anthony Mendoza. Years later, the same lake supervisor drowned under mysterious circumstances. What's strange is that most of the victims were people who had no intention of swimming at all, and some were good swimmers. A curse or something else? Some believe that the bottom of the lake contains strong currents that suddenly pull swimmers down. Others believe there's something in the lake, a dark entity that carefully selects its victims and doesn't allow them to return alive. There are also those who link the lake to ancient Aboriginal legends, who considered these waters the abode of angry spirits. For NAYA's family, no explanation was enough. They lost their daughter, and her child was left motherless. But the biggest question remained unanswered. What happened in the final moments before NAYA disappeared underwater? Was she pulled down? Did she feel something grabbing her? Or is the truth simpler than we imagine, and more terrifying than we think? If you like the story and are interested in learning more about mysterious incidents and hidden facts, follow our page and share the post with your friends. One of them might have some truth.